Hi, Jonathan Tung here again. About a year ago, I shot a rather short documentary for Game Studio Productions called Why Cosplay. Basically, I went around to 2 different anime conventions and asked random people why they enjoy dressing up as their favorite characters from anime, comic books, and video games. Needless to say, while I wasn't able to get all the views and recognition that I kind of anticipated, it got me to thinking about, well, how should I put it? It got me to thinking about what goes into making a decent prop for one of those ridiculously fancy cosplay costumes you see at all those conventions and so forth. So, because of that, I decided to head over to Fanime about a couple weeks ago, and as a result, I decided to go around ask some of the convention goers around to see what usually goes into making their costumes the best and brightest and so forth.
The character I'm cosplaying is Arcade Sona from League of Legends, and to make the costume itself, well, the prop is a lot of foam boards, a lot of hot glue, paper mache, whereas the dress is just normal cloth that I picked up at Joann's and sewed it together with a lot of safety pins too.
Like this one I bought for about 10 bucks at Toys R Us, and as for the paint, well, first I take a Dremel and give it some body damage, and then I buy some paint that I figure will look pretty nice. Like hammered colors tend to be pretty good, like this is a hammered brown and sort of a gold copper for the barrel.
This is made all out of completely EVA foam. This is cut, hot glued. This is actually a tea jug, a 1 gallon tea jug. This is all hot glued in. There's no like special sort of adhesives used. The blood, which I really love, is Elmer's glue and red food dye.
Red food dye?
Yep.
Do you also have to use any, in order to pull, how were you able to pull off that effect with the blood and stains and so forth?
You get a straw, you suck a little bit in. You don't drink it because it'll taste awful, but you just suck a little bit in there and you blow it out on there, and it gives you this nice, really cool drip effect.
This is made out of foam insulation board. I got it at the Home Depot. You get it in the big, like 10-foot sheets, and then you just have to. I made a template, and then I cut around it.
But it wasn't just on the show floor that I actually saw some pretty decent costumes. In fact, I actually saw some really amazing ones at the Masquerade as well on Sunday night. From a crazy mashup of The Legend of Zelda and Destiny to a guy breakdancing in costume to his weird 50 Shades of Grey parody involving Hayao Miyazaki of all people, the Masquerade was perhaps a perfect example of seeing all that patience and hard work pay off. But what if you didn't have the time or manpower to pull off something this amazing? Well, you turn to the professionals. Xander Brandt is a well-known prop maker based here in the Bay Area. You might have seen his work online on certain sites such as Kotaku or Reddit.
I went to school formally as a designer, and I'm not sure if I really wanted to follow that path, so I started taking commissions on the side, which turned into a full-time job. I specialize in making cast and resin kits of my work, and typically I'll sell a few of those a month or a few of those a week depending on the market. Yeah, they're kind of similar to commercial model kits. You're going to do sanding and you're going to do prep and paint, like an aircraft model or something like that. High-res screenshots on Google are the way to go. You get those guys in Photoshop, you blow them up full scale, and you take your measurements directly off that full-size plan, whether it be printed or on a computer. Then I go to work templating, cutting out the material in MDF with a scroll saw, a Dremel, using styrene for layering and details, and this whole thing is sealed with filler primer and then painted. But it's MDF for the grips, and then ABS piping, some MDF for other details. This is sheet metal. This was sculpted using styrene, and then it was molded and cast in resin as 2 halves.